Well, let's start with the destiny roll.
KO.
Destiny roll.
For some destiny! I like it.
Okay. KO rolls 2 light side.
Lurd
I rolled 2 dark side.
rolled 1 dark side.
Berkin rolled 1 light side.
I rolled 2 light side. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's all 5 of us. So we have a pool of 6 light side points and 2 dark side points.
All right, let's take some chances.
Let's take some chances. So I assume everyone remembers exactly what happened the last time we played.
Yes.
These are all astute and keen observers.
We went to bed.
That's exactly the entirety of what happened. Yep.
Yeah.
Like all at the same time together? What?
No.
One big bed. The Texas King.
Freaking Zatuza decided to try to freaking soften the blow that we're not going to get our big cash payout by giving us a piece of crap ship.
Wow, rude. Okay.
Yeah. The old bait and switch.
I thought it had merit.
Remember that
I know.
credits you were going to get? Guess what?
I mean, I'm sure we'll all grow to love the new ship. We probably wouldn't be able to. We probably would have got all of the credits if it wasn't for the fact that we picked up a couple of grifters who kept on asking for gear.
But gear makes the world go round.
Some of that equipment was useful.
It was incredibly useful, as a matter of fact. It was through the use of that gear that we finally managed to tip the scale and get
Nephrim.
Oh my God,
Nephrim.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. Get Nephrim to switch over to our side for now.
Through mass deception.
Massive deception or persuasion.
Wait, did our deception go all the way around, like full circle, to the point of no longer being deceiving, but actually to be truthful?
We are using terminology for skills that don't actually exist in this game setting.
Deception is a thing. Persuasion is not.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So, possible ship names. I'm going with Zatuza's Deceit.
How about not 5 million credits?
What an honor and not an honor.
Or we just call it 5 million credits.
Yeah,
and then that was our 5 million credit reward.
There you go.
I like Zatuza's Deceit. That's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. So what's next?
So you all wake up in the morning, feeling nice and refreshed. Those of you who've, you can all recover 1 wound if you are currently wounded. I believe that's how that works.
That including droids?
Yes, including droids.
Oh.
You know what? Zatuza's Deceit is kind of feeling good right now. It's got a good feel.
Yeah, I like it.
It's kind of sticky.
I really like it.
The Deceit, for short. Full name. Zatuza's Deceit.
And of course, all of your strain is healed, so you can remove all your strain as well.
Does anything happen with our party members' critical wounds?
Not through natural healing. They were in a Bacta tank. I think there's something that happens, but they can only have a medicine check performed on them once every 7 days. I do have a counter going. You guys are at 2 days since the medicine check, so
I'm good.
Also, can droids suffer critical damage like that?
Yeah, it's the equivalent of like, instead of, hey, your fucking kidney's not really functioning right now, it's like your fucking mechanical servo in your arm is glitching or something. But you can suffer critical wounds. It's just a little bit different how you interpret it. Yeah. So you wake up in the morning and let's say there's an attendant waiting outside of your door for whenever you're all dressed. You leave the room and you would run into this attendant who would explain to you that Zatuza has already met with Bib Fortuna and his team. They've arrived. They are in conversation, having an early morning beverage in the cantina. So the attendant would request that each of you find yourselves heading to the cantina as soon as you can.
All right, Lurd will make his way there first thing.
Yeah, Grix has nothing to do. He'll head over there straight away.
KO. Roll out.
Yep. Let's do this.
Okay, so you all work your way to the cantina. It doesn't take very long to get there. You find Zatuza kind of sitting in a chair. The chair is it's a normal sized chair, but he's kind of short, so not a lot of his head sticks up over the table. Also sitting at this table is that familiar blue Twi'lek that some of you may have seen from some of the movies, these Star Wars flicks. There is also a protocol droid, a silver plating, that is standing beside him. And kind of relaxing at a different table are 4 large Gamorreans. Of course, when Zetuza sees you, he would hover off his chair a little bit and wave you over. So going over there, Bib Fortuna would begin speaking. However, he would be speaking Twi'lek, and the protocol droid would be translating for him.
Greetings. Mr. Bib Fortuna says that he has been briefed on most of this situation and asked if there is anything you wish to say before we all speak with Nephrim.
For those of us who are new here, my name is Berkin Druuk. It's good to meet you. I nod my head toward them.
Bib Fortuna continues to stare at you in anticipation.
Try to remember to treat him with respect and the honor that he deserves.
Thank you very much for making the trip to join us here. I trust that your travels were okay. So we've got Nephrim here. She's going to vouch for our sincerity toward the events that we're going to be discussing in the future. I also want to say that I will be standing beside her as a person of character to make sure that things go smoothly. The last thing we want to do is cause some sort of uproar and things get violent. Nobody wants that now, do they?
Weird thinks about it, but he keeps quiet.
Okay. He stares at you. He stands up. He says a couple words in Huttese, and Zetuza hovers into the air and leads you all towards the throne room where Geeta was murdered. Arriving in the throne room, Zetuza says, "Okay, I will bring Nephrim. If you would kindly wait here, I will return in mere moments." He flutters off and returns a couple minutes later with Nephrim shuffling slowly behind him.
Mr. Fortuna would like to hear a recounting of the events and how you ended up here, in your own words.
Oh, well, that is a complicated question. You can hear in the background that Bib is getting very upset just from the tone of his voice.
Mr. Fortuna requests that you answer honestly and would hate to see something happen to you for hiding any information.
Yes, of course. I just need a moment to compose my thoughts. Right. So from the beginning then, I don't know a lot about all of it, and Cygnus was just the person that I was meant to deliver the package to. That's all. I needed to get back to Nar Shaddaa after a job. It was a business deal that I had with a Corellian named Banny. He came to me, he bought some droids off of me, and we really hit it off. So I left planet with him, hung out with him and his crew for a few days while we traveled back to Corellia. But before we could get there, he received a phone call. It was short and quick, and then told me that I would have to take a transport back to the moon. So he had his people orchestrate that, and I got on the transport. But before that, he asked if I could deliver a package to his friend who just happened to be on Nar Shaddaa in a couple of weeks, and he gave me the coordinates. So when I got back, I waited a little while, and then I went to the coordinates and dropped off the package. You hear Bib say a few words to the protocol droid.
And during your time with these people, did you hear any talk of any Hutt spawn? Geeta's spawn?
Sorry, I don't know. They talked about a lot of things. I don't remember anything about that specifically. Though maybe, it's tough to say. They did mention the children from time to time, but never went into any sort of detail. They seemed to avoid talking about it around me.
And when did all this take place?
Around a month ago, I think.
And what was in the package you delivered to Cygnus? It was Cygnus that you delivered it to, correct?
Yes, it was. He did open the package, however. It looked like a vial with some liquid in it, and I didn't consider it back then, but knowing what it is now, it was definitely poison. Bib says one more thing to the droid.
Well, Mr. Fortuna thanks you for your assistance.
You'll turn to the party after speaking with Nephrim, and he will begin speaking a little bit, and the protocol droid says,
Mr. Fortuna says that if this is all true, and Cygnus tells us the same, then it is likely that this Banny character will have more information, and hopefully he will be the one that took Geeta's spawn. The 5 of you, he says, are cleared for the death of Tarbu the Hutt, but as for Geeta, he must still speak with Cygnus. But he is, however, comfortable with clearing your names for their death as well. Mr. Fortuna says that Nephrim and Cygnus will be taken before the great and powerful Jabba the Hutt for judgment, as someone must pay for the damages done. Until Geeta's spawn are located, rescued, and correctly raised, Jabba the Hutt will be taking direct control over all operations in Tarbu and Geeta's territory here on Nar Shaddaa. We have some of our people coming here from Tatooine as we speak. Mr. Fortuna would like you, Zatusa, to know that you and your people no longer work for the Hutts. They will call you if you are required. He would like the 5 of you to track down Cygnus and bring him here, and then they will be promptly delivered to Jabba, and they shall deal with the rest of this mess directly.
So what you're saying is that you want us to go track down the person who single-handedly took out 2 Hutts, and you want us to bring that person in front of yet another Hutt.
Bib Fortuna is slowly nodding at you with a very cold stare.
Sounds good to me.
Berkin, we're going to need Nephrim's help.
I look over at Nephrim. What's Nephrim? What's her status right now?
Her eyes are glued to the floor, and she's looking quite scared at the moment.
Okay. Well, for all intents and purposes, we are going to require Nephrim's assistance in tracking down Cygnus. So please do not kill her.
Yes, Mr. Bib, sir, we will need Nephrim's assistance if we're to track down Cygnus efficiently.
Okay, for this, I will need first roll of the game, a charm check, please.
For who?
That is going to be from Berkin.
Can I assist?
Berkin, you may have a boost die for Grix assisting. Difficulty is going to be 4 difficulty, which I think is daunting. And that is going to have 3 of those purple dice be red, because he is an adversary.
Nephrim to join us?
Just on this charm check to convince him that this would be allowable.
This is in his best interests.
Can I hinder the roll in any way? Because I don't want her coming. I use the force. I use my force ability. No,
I'm going to use a force point on this because this is looking like a mid-full.
Sure, you can absolutely spend one of your 6 destiny points.
Besides, Bib, may I call you Bib? This is in your best interest. You want Cygnus caught alive, we're going to need a bigger crew. And that would be a failure with 1 threat.
Okay. With that very cold stare, he slowly shakes. He slowly shakes his head no. And it's quite unsettling. Something about this character makes you quite unsettled. You can take a point of strain.
All right. I can see by your stoic expression that my words have fell on deaf ears. That's fine. Nephrim, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to have to say, but it looks like that Twi'lek over there wants your blood.
With her head down, with her head still down, she looks up at you very briefly, and then her eyes lock to the floor once again.
Okay, hold on. While she's staring at me briefly, I give her a wink.
Okay.
And then I turn back to Bib Fortuna. Put my hands up in the air. That's fine. Thank you very much for your time. And I look around at everyone else. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to add to the conversation? Because it looks like Bib's just, he's not going to be, he's a man of business. He does not put up with anyone's shite.
Yeah, that's a big negative.
You're doing great, Berkin. Keep going.
Call him Bib again. Maybe insult him a little bit.
I put my arm around his shoulders. All right, Bib.
Talk about how lumpy his head is.
Did you really?
I did not.
Talk about how he has weird, discolored, pointy teeth.
Look, and I look at Zatuza and I look at Bib. We brought this person in front of you, and it's our responsibility to make sure that we tie up our own loose ends. So, when I reach for my blaster, don't you worry about it. We'll take care of her.
So you went for your weapon?
Yes. Like I take it out of my holster, kind of look down at it, turn the safety off.
KO takes a couple steps backwards when Berkin brandishes his weapon in the presence.
No, not like brandish it and like wave it around in front of his face. I just like, kind of like take it out of its holster a little bit, check to see how easy it is to clear, and then like put it back into its holster. Come on, guys.
You come on. That is clearly could be interpreted as a threatening action there. I for one keep my weapons holstered. My shoulder cannon is in an upright position, and I distance myself from Berkin.
Laird sees Berkin reach for his gun. Laird's going to start to reach for his as well, but seeing that you're not actually brandishing it about, Laird will disappointedly put his hands back down by his sides.
Okay, well, you don't get much of a reaction at that from Bib. You do get cautionary glares from the Gamorreans at the opposite table. And Zatuza, as soon as you took the blaster out of its holster?
Not fully, just enough to check to see how easy it is to like you do. You just like kind of lift the gun out a little bit, not like fully out, but just enough to know that you're going to be able to, it's not going to catch on anything when you need it.
Sure.
Yeah. Like if you're in a gunfight or whatever, you quickly try see if you can draw your weapon, and then I'm sure no one would think you're going to draw your weapon on them. That couldn't. No.
All right, Grix flourishes his pistol with a spin and puts it back in his holster.
Okay, well, anyway.
So anyway, I start shooting.
As soon as you reach to do all that with your blaster, Zatuza quickly notices and flutters over to you, kind of blocking view of all of that to Bib, and he'll put his tiny little arm around you and kind of turn you around and walk you away and say, my boy, is one of those situations where it is less is better. Please, just find sickness. I'm sorry about Nephrim, lad, but who's to say she's going to die anyway? Anyway, be quick.
Wait, didn't we promise her safety in exchange for her telling us all this stuff?
I look over at Grix and I do like the biggest wink ever.
You get a little chuckle out of Bib when you say that.
I don't recall ever promising her safety.
Oh, I guess it's all cool then. All right, let's get Cygnus.
Do we still have his last known location?
That we do. And we'll also make sure we get all other relevant information from this one. And I kind of like forcefully push her toward the door. I lean back and I give Bib Fortuna a huge smile and I give him a thumbs up.
You forcefully push who towards the door?
Nephrim.
So you're trying to take Nephrim with you anyway?
No, like we're going to kill her. Like we're going to go into a separate room to kill her. That's what you do, right? You don't just like shoot her in cold blood mercilessly in front of everybody. Not a monster.
I mean, Bib would.
Is that what Bib wants?
I don't believe that's what Bib wants.
Bib wants what Jabba wants.
If that's what Bib wants, then KO will definitely we got to be on Bib's good side, right? I mean, we have
Bib wants us to bring Cygnus and Nephrim back so that Jabba can make his own decision.
Yeah, he doesn't want us to kill her, man. Believe me, if he wanted us to kill her, then that would get done.
Yeah,
Well,
she's safe enough for now.
If you're pushing Nephrim towards the door, Bib is going to speak, and the protocol droid says,
Mr. Fortuna would like to know where you are going with Nephrim.
I'm just going to go kill her out this way. That is what you wanted, correct?
Bib Fortuna lets out a sigh of exhaustion and speaks again. The protocol droid translates.
He questions whether you were listening to what he had said previously, that Nephrim and Cygnus would both be taken before the great and powerful Jabba the Hutt for judgment. Killing Nephrim here would be the equivalent of stealing Jabba the Hutt's property. He kindly requests you to leave Nephrim here with us.
Nephrim, do you want to stay here with Bib Fortuna and his Gamorrean friends, or would you like to come with us, hunt down Cygnus, and make sure that he doesn't actually, somehow manage to escape the clutches of Jabba and somehow murder you?
I would very much like to leave and go home. Bib Fortuna speaks again, translated once again by the protocol droid.
Mr. Fortuna says that she does not have a choice in the matter, and neither do you. She is to stay where she can be safely observed.
All right, well, what, Mr. Fortuna? Who do you think that you are? Huh? Who do you think that you are? Do I look like a slave to you? Do you think that
Berkin,
No.
let's go. Come on, let's go.
It makes sense. I mean, if we let her come with us, then she might just escape again. And then we'd have to hunt her down once more. She should stay here where she can be observed and monitored, and then when we bring Cygnus back, we will take them both back to Jabba.
Fine. And I throw my hands up in the air in disgust and walk past Nephrim out the door.
I mean, he was just about to kill her, wasn't he?
Grix looks at Nephrim and says, "You'll be fine. Don't do anything crazy. We'll be back."
She does a similar glance at you, that glances quickly at you, and her eyes quickly dart back to the floor.
Elliot follows Berkin out of the room.
KO offers a slight bow and then backs out of the room.
Does it look like Zatuza's hanging out to continue talking with Bib, or is he following us out?
Zatuza has followed out Berkin, trying to calm him down a little bit.
All right, Grix will call out after him, like, Zatuza, about that ship, and he'll run off after them.
Okay. So you leave the throne room, and you head off somewhere else into the palace. Where are you guys going from here?
I'd be going toward the hangar bay.
Yep.
Armory.
Hangar.
Okay, Grix is going to the armory.
I assume there is one.
Yeah, there's kind of one. You were there the previous night.
Okay, is there can I find a dozen frag grenades and concussion grenades? Or stun grenades, rather?
You grabbed a couple frag grenades from there the previous night. That's all that was left.
Okay,
and I
gotcha.
believe you may have grabbed a couple grenades, but you definitely got a couple frag grenades there.
Okay, head back to the hangar.
Okay. So you get down to the hangar bay, and Zatuza's there with you. Tally, of course, was there for the whole meeting as well. She's here. And Zatuza's like, okay, so that could have gone worse, I suppose. I'm sorry about Nephrim.
We're not leaving this ship without her, so...
She's a threat and a liability.
Well, if she is to go to Jabba, you don't know what can happen to her there. It is up to him. And if you try to prevent that from happening, Berkin, I don't think it would go well for you in the future. I would try to let it go. If she was just a courier and Cygnus is the one that claims more responsibility, then she might get off easy. Worst case, maybe she's sold as a slave. Best case scenario, they let her walk out of there alive.
Yeah, Berkin, maybe you could buy her safety from Jabba.
I, however, do not believe that you will be able to find such accommodations with Cygnus. When he requests Cygnus to be brought to him, he does mean alive. Please do not kill Cygnus.
All right, you got it, Z. Where is that big ship you were talking about last time around? Is it around here?
It is a few hours away. We would have to take speeder. Unfortunately, there are not a lot of hangars on planet that are large enough to house it.
And seeing as this was my own personal project, it took a while to locate one.
All right, is she ready to fly, or do we got to take another ride out of here?
Oh, no. She is far from capable of flight. The repairs that are needed, they will take some time.
All right, gang. You know the drill. We got to bring in this Cygnus guy, and we got to bring him in alive. Are you all geared up for this? We're leaving in 10. Let's go.
Actually, I need to go make some arrangements first, so don't worry, I won't be late. Give me a half hour.
All right, copy that, Berkin. Anybody else?
Nope, I'm ready. Let's go.
Nope. Laird spins the barrel on his gun a couple times and climbs aboard the ship and gets ready.
All right, Berkin, do your thing. We'll meet you on the ship. We'll take off as soon as you're back.
I make my way toward the room that Nephrim is being held in.
Okay. You can find her there. She now has a couple of Gamoran guards posted outside. They stop you on the way in. However, in eyesight of them is Bib, and Bib kind of waves his hand, indicating that you're allowed to go inside if you wish.
Okay. I do so, and then I turn around to make sure the door is closed behind me.
Sure.
Yeah. What does her room look like? Like, whereabouts is it in the greater scheme of the palace?
It's on the opposite side of where your accommodations are. Your accommodations are more luxurious. It might be for higher value guests, whereas these ones they're smaller. They might be more for just general accommodations for anyone who happens to be Geeta's guest at the time. The furnishings are gaudy everywhere in this palace, though, and the colors are very bright pastels. I might remind you.
Right.
So that theme does continue throughout every room. Most rooms are still quite comfortable.
What kind of view do we have?
A lot of Durasteel walls, a lot of that going on here. There's not really a view per se. Your personal accommodations, they would have a window to the beautiful swamps of Nal Hutta, but not so much this room.
Okay. All right. So it's basically a cell, a windowless cell.
It's being treated as a cell for the moment. However, it is a nice prison cell.
Okay. I am displeased with how things went there, Nephrim. You have my sincerest apologies.
Oh, you're displeased. I am also quite displeased.
Things definitely could have gone a lot better, but you're still alive, and that's what's important right now.
I'm not dead yet. So, but from the sounds of it, if you can bring them Cygnus to corroborate my story, well, I might get out of this alive. So that's great.
Right. Well, you mentioned a fellow named Bonnie.
Banny.
Who gave you that contact information?
I was hired by Banny.
You're a mechanic. You're not a messenger. You're not a courier. What exactly happened that made you want to take on that kind of service?
Doesn't matter.
Suppose it doesn't. Now, here's what really matters. It's your safety. Now, while you're here with Zatuza, I feel that this is probably going to be the safest place for you. At least it's the only place that I can think of in that nobody's actively trying to kill you yet. You could come with us, and to be quite honest, I'd rather that you were with us. But it seems that Jabba's might extends all the way out to here, regardless of the fact that he's not even present. I don't know if I can take on multiple Gamorrean guards, so I suggest that you simply stay here. Lean on Zatuza. He may even have work for you. You're a mechanic, and we have a ship that's in need of repairs. I will talk to him to make sure that he's aware of the fact that you can possibly do this work for us, if that is what you'd like to do in the meantime. I know that sometimes staying busy is enough to keep your mind off of things, unpleasant things. And when we get back with Cygnus, things will be different. We'll have at least some more leverage to make sure that things go the way that we want to see them. Specifically, that you don't get killed, that you don't turn into some Hutt slave. And at that point in time, perhaps we can look about working together. We are going to need a mechanic, and I think that you could suit that bill just nicely. I think that KO is probably going to have some issues with that. Actually, I think KO is going to have a lot of issues with that. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm sure he'll be fine. I can tell by your stunned look on your face that this conversation is really hitting you right in the heartstrings. So I'm gonna let you just kind of stew on that for a little bit. We're gonna go get Cygnus, and we're gonna see if we can't rectify all of this all in one fell swoop.
I thought I made it pretty clear to you last night that I want nothing to do with you all. I didn't even want to come to this planet, and now I'm going to have to stand before Jabba the Hutt, and probably best case scenario, I will be a slave to some slimy slug out in the middle of nowhere.
I love the fact that you've got such a sense of humor about this. It's fantastic, really. All right, well, I'll see you later, all right? And I wave and I head toward the door.
And scene. Okay, sounds good. And eventually you get back to the river's edge. Yeah, everyone's there.
So tell me, Laird, what are our chances of taking Cygnus in alive? You're the bounty hunter.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be tough, but I believe in this group. I believe in this gun.
Figured you could just talk to him again. Just convince him to come with us. Should work.
It could work, maybe.
Okay, so you guys are going to head to the coordinates that Nephrim gave you the other day, back to go to where Cygnus is supposed to be located.
Yeah, I think so. What is that? Is that on Nal Hutta or is that back on Nar Shaddaa?
Back on Nar Shaddaa.
It's like a block or two away from Nephrim, I thought.
It's a little bit further away from Tarbu's palace than Nephrim's hideout was, but it's not too far.
All right. We know he purchased a bunch of booby trap stuff, potentially, a bunch of nefarious goods. Do we know what the area where that he was in looks like? Or is it a similar like underground hangar scenario or office building?
Yeah, I believe last session you guys, Berkin, got a pretty good grasp of the surrounding area. But as for the actual layout of what's inside of his hideout or whatever, you're not really sure. But you did find out that he has a number of fortifications, including cameras and explosives.
All right, guys, let's break it down. We got to get in. We got to get around these cameras, explosives, trip mines, who knows what else. We somehow got to convince this guy to come with us and bring him before Jabba. How the heck are we going to do this?
Finding out killing him. This bringing him alive business sounds impossible to me.
I mean, normally I might agree with you because he's pretty deadly, but we've been specifically asked to bring him in alive, so I think we should try to give it a shot at the very minimum.
Lord, you're a gank and he's a gank. Can you tell me if he is susceptible to ion blasters?
Yeah, it seems likely. Also, does everyone's weapons have a stun setting on them? We can knock them out that way.
Keo looks at his weapons for stun settings.
Yeah, stun setting. Yep, definitely got it.
Well, my weapon does have a stun setting. Okay, hold on. So what's the difference between an ion blaster and a regular blaster with a stun setting in regard to how do they work? Do they work any different?
Well, ion is designed to counteract like electronic stuff, so like cybernetics and droids.
Right, but I'm talking about mechanically in the FFG game system.
Oh,
yeah. So there's a difference. So ion weapons are designed to affect electrical systems, as opposed to dealing damage. They're typically fitted to ships to knock out shield sensors and shit. So they would work on droids and probably cybernetics. Their damage is still gets reduced by armor and soak. Droids are affected by ion weapons taking damage to their strain threshold. So basically, it's like stun for droids.
Yeah, we should hammer him with both.
So like if you tried to use a weapon that has stun on a droid, it might not work. Let me see.
I'm just looking it up right now, checking FFG's forums.
Well, Cygnus is a gank, and if I know gank, he's got,
big gank dick.
That big gank energy.
So
Cygnus is a gank, and if I know ganks, they're going to have cybernetics, so hitting them with an ion blaster probably isn't a bad idea.
All right, do we have any ion weapons? I've got some stun grenades. That's the closest thing to ion that I have. It's not ion.
Yes, KO is not really geared for stun or incapacitation. KO only has lethal armaments.
What do we have for medical? Would we be able to say if like quadruple amputation happened to Cygnus? Would we be able to patch that up and keep him on conscious?
But how would you be removing his limbs?
Preferably with a very large blaster bolt, or maybe with some super strong mechanical power there. KO.
I'm not sure I could rip the arms off of a cybernetically enhanced being.
So if it has a stun setting, you can use a stun setting on droids or organic or whatever, and it'll do strain damage. But if it's like an ion grenade or an ion blaster specifically, you can use it to damage only droids, cyborgs, cybernetics, and deal strain damage as per the stun quality. It will have no effect on any organic beings around it. So if there was like organic beings in like a group of droids, like in the Clone Wars, if you throw like an ion grenade, it'll only do anything to the droids, so it won't affect the fleshy boys.
As a droid, I intentionally did not take any droid disabling weapons.
I can understand that.
Okay, here's a weird thought. Does KO think that another droid or another organic would be more dangerous?
Organics are dangerous. Droids aren't dangerous.
Okay.
So yeah, that answers that question, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually used an ion weapon to take out droids or whatever.
But I believe the rifle that was installed onto KO should have a stun setting. However, you do take 2 setback die for shooting with it at the moment.
It's only a couple hours to get over to Cygnus's location, is correct?
Yeah, it's not long at all.
You did not give it a stun setting.
Maybe the weapon I copied onto it did not have it. All right, never mind.
Not that I wrote down, at least. I remember asking about it and being happy that it didn't actually have one.
Yeah, it might not have. I think it's a heavy blaster rifle is the exact thing that it is.
I was like, oh darn, another weapon without a stun setting.
Such a shame.
All right, I'll take out my personal communicator and I will dial up Zatuza. Yep.
Okay. It goes through. He answers, hello.
Hey, Zatuza, it's Grix over here. We're about to head out of here, and I just had a thought. Considering all of your, stuff is going to be plundered by Jabba's goons any minute now, do you have any ion weapons kicking around in a stash somewhere? We could really use a couple.
Whatever is in the room that we had prepared for the tournament, that's everything we have on hand. The other equipment I got for you was... I had to pull a few strings on planet. However, if you would like, you could spend a destiny point to say that they did have a couple ion blasters in there, Grix.
I will spend the destiny point.
Love it. Yeah, so you just click on it and we'll turn it over to a dark side token. And that's another use for the destiny point. You can use it to retroactively have things that you may have forgotten about within reason. It's not going to be like, I think I forgot my fire spray on that other planet, so can I spend this point to have it like to just be inside of it right now? Something like that might not work.
Oh yeah, that's right. Thanks, Atuza. I forgot that crate. Hey, Berkin, look at that crate over there. I think it's got some ion weapons we recovered earlier in it.
Excellent. What about your ship? Is it outfitted with an ion cannon?
The River's Edge has never had an ion cannon mounted on it before, but I don't know, with some tinkering, we might be able to make it happen. What do you think, Tally? Do you think we could modify the ship's turret to shoot ion rounds?
Well, I don't believe we have any ion rounds, Captain. I think we would need to acquire some parts before we did anything like that. But
yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
If we had the correct parts, we could surely do it.
All right. Well, yeah, I was thinking the same thing there, but yeah, I know a guy in Nar Shaddaa contact there. He might be able to get some parts for, but it's pretty last minute. I don't know if we'll have some high power ion weapery. What are you thinking there, Berkin?
We may just not have the time. I was just curious as to whether or not the ship had one or not. There's nothing says intimidation like being shot with the front end of a ship, as opposed to just getting pewed on with a couple of guns.
Pewed on?
Pewed.
Awesome.
Well, I can assure you one thing there, Berkin. If we want to pew on this guy, River's Edge can pew for days. Just not with Ion.
That's fine. All right, so I start handing out the ion weapons.
Oh, man.
KO just like looks at you when you try to hand him an ion weapon and just ignores you.
KO. You do realize that any regular weapon is going to do the same thing to you as an ion weapon could. It's just an ion weapon, those might do it a bit faster. And besides, don't you want to shoot something?
Shoot him with my weapon, that's fine. I'm sure he won't die instantly.
I'm going to take my chances with just shooting him with my regular weapon. If he dies, he dies.
Love it.
I think that you just want to shoot that big rifle of yours, that's all. I'll take the bloody weapon just so you have it on you.
Yeah, KO takes the weapon from you and then will like immediately like put it in a crate somewhere.
Just hide it.
Just like put it under the chair or something.
I love it.
All right, so I hand out the rest of them and I take a look at the navigation chart. So if these coordinates are correct, how long is it going to take us to get there?
A couple of hours. It's not long.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be a couple hours. Pretty easy flight.
What kind of ion weapon was this that we got passed around?
Ionization blaster. It is ranged light, has a damage of 10, crit 5, short range, encumbrance 3. Many of you will probably be over encumbered by this point. 3 hard points, rarity of 3, disorient 5, and it is stun damage droid only.
Sorry, what's the critical on it?
5.
And the damage, sorry?
Damage is 10.
Okay, perfect.
It is only stun damage to droid.
And cybernetics or just droids?
Well, droid cybernetics, anything electrical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just not people's.
No.
But, we have an electrical system more or less with the nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guys, I got a lot of stuff here. Is anyone... I'm not going to be able to carry these grenades. Does anybody want to carry these in?
I'm good.
Lord, looking at you here, bud.
Yeah, I'll take a few.
All right, here you go. I toss you two frags and a stun grenade.
So what's our encumbrance levels at carrying around
6.
that thing?
Yeah, Grix is at 6 encumbrance.
Laird fiddles with it for a bit and puts it in the corner for later. I'm not going to equip it.
Sorry, the ion gun's got an encumbrance of 3?
Yes.
Okay, so I am going to take my blaster carbine and leave that on the ship.
Okay.
Yeah, Grix is he's going to be equipping himself with his CS-12 Stunmaster baton, Claude von Flack's heavy blaster pistol, and an ion blaster. And he will be giving the grenades to Lurd.
How many of which grenades did I get again?
1 stun grenade and 2 frags.
Okay. Well, after a couple of hours of flight, you break through the atmosphere of Nal Hutta and find yourself approaching Cygnus's location, the coordinates that you were given anyway. Berkin, from previous research exactly what this area looks like, and you kind of know what to expect here. You do suspect that it would be very difficult to get to him without him noticing, but...
Could we knock out the power grid or something?
If you were able to EMP, possibly.
Gotcha.
His hideout is likely rigged to notify him of anyone in the near vicinity.
All right, guys, do we go in loud or quiet? Cygnus's base is fast approaching.
Is there any way we can scan it from the exterior and get any information?
You can probably do that. You do have scanners. Someone can give me a computers check. Whoever's operating these scanners.
I could do that. Grix can do a computer check if no one else wants to.
Your ship.
Okay, hang on a sec. I just want to make sure I'm not doing 2 checks by accident. What is the difficulty on this?
We'll make it hard. Just go with 3 purples.
Okay. Grix has rolled 1 failure with 3 advantages.
Okay. So for some reason, the sensors can't seem to really pick up anything in the area. You can't really get a clean signal. You suspect there's probably some sort of scrambling device in the area. Definitely of Cygnus's doing. What would you like to spend your 3 advantage on, Grix? 3 is pretty decent.
Can we get in unseen? Can we find a spot that he's that's undetected or presumably?
Yeah, you know what? I think you can navigate a course to land in a location where kind of like a blind spot in his system. I think you can find that for 3 advantage. I think you could probably get to the door before he would notice that someone is trying to get inside of his base. Berkin does know that his headquarters here or whatever, or what have you, will require infiltration on foot. There is no attached hangar bay or anything like that, like what Nephrim had. This seems to be a lot simpler than that.
All right, I'll take us in undetected, set us down. We'll touch down on ground and be like, okay, guys, I'm pretty sure I avoided all those fancy sensors and whatnot. We should be undetected here. I don't think he knows we're coming yet. We might have a chance to surprise him.
Yeah, I say we stay quiet as long as we can.
All right, the rest of the approach is on foot then. Berkin, do you feel like taking point?
That sounds good. All right, let's do this. Everyone, make sure you got your iron weapons. Everyone, show me your iron weapons.
Grix shakes his above his head. No, sand people? No. Okay, yeah, I'll just let that one go.
KO pats himself for his ion weapon and just holds his hands up.
KO, where's your weapon?
Lost it somewhere. I'll look for it. Don't worry.
I spend a destiny point to pull out another ion weapon for him.
If that's what you're doing, sure.
No, it's fine. Look, if you end up killing this guy, KO, and Jabba finds out that, well, I mean, he will find out that he's dead. That means there's a good chance that it's going to come back to bite us in the ass. So
let's say, for instance, that our lives require him to die. What if he's about to kill Grix or Lurd, and the only way to stop him is to kill him? What are we supposed to do? Stun him?
it's a worst case situation that you've got there. I expect that things are going to go incredibly smoothly because we have ion weapons.
He has flesh bits too. It's not like he's going to be incapacitated with just ion weapons, but sure. You can give Geo another ion weapon. I'm just gonna lose it as soon as you turn your back, dude.
Well, at least he's honest.
All right, so the situation is this. We have no idea what's going to be going on inside that base, aside from the fact that it's probably going to be incredibly challenging to make our way from one point to another. So I suggest that we split up into two teams and see if we can try to pincer him together, rather than simply giving him an avenue of escape.
All right, I choose Lurd.
Lurd looks up from his gun. What? For what?
We're a team now, Lurd. Just you and me.
Yes.
Lurd, we don't actually know exactly where he's going to be situated inside this structure. So if we all stick together, there's a chance that he might be able to slip by us. If we separate into two groups, there's a better chance that he's not going to be able to slip by us. We can surround him more or less, which is going to give us a better opportunity to take him out without actually having to kill him.
Oh yeah, definitely, all the way on board. So one of the teams is going to go in and try and flush him out. One of us hang back a little bit, or
that could work. However, we don't know this area well enough to say exactly what means of egress he's going to take.
Right.
I think it's going to require both teams to be mobile.
Well, let's get a move on then.
Okay, I do so. I take out my what's the thing called? I take out my comm link and I make sure that it's on the same frequency as everyone else's.
Same.
Ditto.
Yep. Comm check.
Tally does the same, and she says, I will hold down the fort here. I will keep the engine running in case we need a quick escape.
Perfect. All right, KO, you and me, just like old times.
Just like old times.
All right, I slap you on the back, and we walk. I'll walk out. Start toward the door, airlock, ship entrance,
Landing ramp.
I was going to get there.
Sorry.
Yeah, Grix will unbuckle his pistol holster so it is ready for a quick draw, and he will follow the two of them down the ramp.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys can pile up on the door. without alerting Cygnus that you're there. However, once you go through the door, there's a good chance he's going to know. However, there is an access panel that someone could try to access and see what they could do to disable some systems.
KO does that.
With a computer check. The difficulty is going to be very difficult, however. Maybe not very difficult, but it's going to be a hard difficulty, but it is going to have 3 red dice.
KO then suddenly thinks somebody else should do it.
This system looks much too complicated for me to handle. Perhaps somebody with better computer skills.
All right, I crack my knuckles, holster my ion weapon over my shoulder, however I hold it.
Computers or mechanic, I guess, could be appropriate here.
And I hack the system. All right, what's my difficulty?
3 red dice, sir.
Okay, I want to use the force point.
All right.
Upgrade that bad boy. Here we go. Can I get a boost die because we've already surveilled this area?
Why not? You can have a boost die.
Sweet. All right, so that's 1 failure, 4 threats, and 1 triumph.
Oh,
okay. So obviously you fail. You don't manage to bring down any of the systems. You weren't able to disable any of the fortifications. You accrued some strain due to almost detonating some of the explosive devices located outside of the door. So you take 4 strain. And for your triumph, you figure out the locations of most of the serious traps in his facility. And through some dexterous coordinations, your party may or may not be able to avoid them.
Okay.
May or may not. I like those odds.
Yeah. Can I download the floor plans to my datapad?
Yeah, sure. You can have some floor plans. That's what gives you access to the locations of all the traps.
Perfect.
The floor plan is fairly simple. It seems to be almost a gauntlet sort of thing, which eventually ends up in a room where he has all of his, where he is likely holed up if he is currently in here. And for any checks related to avoiding the traps, anyone can have a boost die to those checks.
Copy that.
Love it.
So there you go. Opening the door, you're greeted by a 30-foot hallway. There is nothing visually suspicious to it, so you're glad that you have information about the traps located in here. There are laser tripwires along the floor that you will have to maneuver around in order to not set off the explosive devices located beneath the floor, all while avoiding the network of cameras. So if anyone is going to make a move through this hallway, I will need a coordination check from each of you, please.
Are we splitting up or are we all going down this hallway?
It's just the one, right?
The floor plan that Berkin pulled up indicates there is only one way in and only one way out.
So we're not splitting up.
Sorry, that was coordination?
Yes, sir.
And the difficulty?
The difficulty is going to be average. So 2 purples. One of them is going to be a red. And you each have a boost die for knowing where each of these traps are.
Grix has obtained 1 success and 1 threat.
KO.
Lurd goes tiptoeing in with 1 success and 1 advantage.
KO has memorized the location of the booby traps from the information and just blithely walks through with 5 successes.
Damn.
So many successes.
All right. Berkin pulls off 3 successes.
Hot damn. Okay. So Grix, you took a threat. I think at one point you thought you may have triggered it. Turns out it was just a crink in the rug. Got you a little sweaty there for a moment. So you can take 1 point of strain. And Lurd, yeah, I mean, do you want to spend that advantage on anything?
I look good doing it.
Yeah, I was going to say swagger.
You look very good doing it. This is familiar to your gang senses.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to spend it on.
Yeah, I don't either. So yeah, you just look really good doing it. And you can navigate the hallway without any problems. You manage to do it while the cameras are panning back and forth, and you slip by undetected.
What kind of base is this? Is it like Undercity, like worn down, or is it like old mechanical systems or something?
That's a very good question, actually. It's in an old industrial district, and this area has been converted. It looks like this was built specifically. So Cygnus probably built this as a sort of little bunker or safe house. He may or may not have others, but yeah, the surrounding area it was all industry at one point. But nowadays it's more
Personally prepared as a bunker.
yes, it's personally prepared as to be a bunker. So anyway, the hallway at the end of it turns to the right and opens up into a larger room. It's about 20 feet by 20 feet. And in here, there are a couple of floor-mounted turrets at the far end, and they are sweeping the room back and forth, waiting for something to target. Also in this room, there are cameras in each corner. You know from the floor plan and from your previous checks on what Cygnus has purchased in the past, Berkin, that these two turrets are likely the only thing in here that you have to worry about, aside from the cameras, of course.
Okay.
Do we all see this?
You all should be able to see it.
Yeah, so I'll hold up the data pad so everyone can see.
Oh, turrets and cameras, huh?
All right, well, let's think about this for half a second. If we take out those cameras, we take out those turrets, we're definitely going to alert his attention that we're in here. That being said, that might be the easier route to take as opposed to trying to get by them to disable the cameras.
Well, we could, if we're going to alert him by by attacking the cameras and turrets, it's still a chance that we won't if we just try to disable them, though.
Well, if we want to disable them, though, KO, that means we're going to actually have to get past the turret defense.
Can we not disable the turret defense?
I think we'd have to manually jack into whatever security device is over there. I don't think Wi-Fi is a thing in Star Wars.
I don't think it is. I've never seen it. Everything's like I'm going to put my thing into that thing and access the thing.
I got to jack in somewhere. I got to jack in.
You got to jack in.
Starfinder and other like cyberpunky type things, yeah, all that shit's connected. But this is like 1970s style.
All right. Well, is there any obvious way to like get to the turrets to deactivate them without triggering the cameras or the other turrets?
There's a few things you could possibly hide behind. They're not very tall though, so someone with someone kind of smaller and more maneuverable could have a possibility of getting up to them, but then they also have to try and deactivate them manually. So it would be difficult, but it is possible.
Don't send in the 8-foot tall droid.
I mean, I wouldn't.
With completely shit mechanics and computer skills.
I personally wouldn't.
If Grix and Lurd can lay down suppressing fire, can you guys snipe out the cameras or disable the turrets?
Hold on.
Yes.
Just don't fire anything.
I love this plan.
I kind of jump on the balls of my feet, like, back and forth a couple of times. I'll like lift up my hand above my head and kind of like stretch out my arms a little bit, and I'll shake my legs out, and I'll get down into like the runner's stance.
All right, what's your plan, Berkin?
I am going to use my force ability to leap cross quickly toward the interface device.
Okay.
And what are you going to do when you get there?
I will take out my data pad, tie into that interface device, and see if I can't shut down the system directly. So I'm going to take a force leap action.
Sure.
So how tall, like what's the situation? How tall is this room? Like what's the ceiling height?
Ceiling height is pretty standard, maybe 10 feet. It's a distance of 20 feet to the other end of the room.
Okay.
Can we perhaps discuss a plan B?
Start firing.
Lurd hefts his gun.
Excellent.
All right, go.
All right. I put my fingers on the ground, take a couple of deep breaths, look up toward my goal, which is that little data port on the other side there. I take a couple of quick running steps, and then I throw myself in the air with a force leap.
All right, I believe you have to give an athletics.
It's an enhanced power check. So, yeah, this is going to be an athletics check.
And you add the force die, and you can choose to spend the pip or not.
Okay, what's the difficulty?
Shit, I mean, to leap 20 feet with enhanced force power, I mean, make it average, I guess.
All right, here we go. Oof. Oof. Okay, so that's 2 dark side points, 2 advantages, and 1 failure. So I can use either light side or dark side to gain successes or advantages. So I am definitely going to use both of those pips to get rid of the failure and give me 1 success.
All right. So you got to spend a light side point to use the dark side pips. You will take 2 points of conflict instantly, and you will gain 2 successes. So you'll have a success with 2 advantage.
Okay. So do the weapons, do they fire? Or did I move quickly enough that it didn't register that I went through the space?
Well, with your success, you will have moved quick enough at the right moment that they will not pick up on your leap. So yeah, you've gotten past them successfully. Now all you have to do is jack in and try to turn off turret.
Okay, so I look back at the guys and I give them just a big thumbs up and proceed to take.
KO returns the thumbs up.
I take out my data pad and proceed to connect to the interface.
Okay, this one is similar to the computer checks. The computer check earlier. It is going to be difficulty hard, 3 red dice.
Sorry, how many?
Hard difficulty, so 3 reds.
3 reds or 3 purples?
3 red.
Sorry, that's funny.
Does he gain a boost die on trap checks, as mentioned earlier?
He does get a boost die.
4 reds, dude. You might as well flip a point.
3 reds. You should probably flip if you.
All right, I'll flip a point.
So
this still doesn't look very good. 3 reds, Jesus Christ!
I know it's tough.
Die. Let's use setback die. Okay,
I
so
like red dice because they give me despairs, and I like despairs.
Yeah, with 3, good lord,
and
man.
Adversarial dice.
Rolling the dice. That is a failure with 1 advantage.
Could have been a lot worse. Okay, so you don't deactivate them. What do you want to use your advantage for?
So you say this is a 10-foot ceiling?
Yes.
And what height are the turrets at?
They're on the floor. They're maybe about 4 feet tall.
Okay. For my advantage, I grab onto the barrels of the turrets and force them down so that they're aiming directly at the floor only.
Grix will now shoot the turrets.
I'll let you do it to 1 turret for 1 advantage.
Okay, yeah, I lean on the turret with my full body weight and force the mechanism to aim toward the floor only.
Yeah, okay. So it's it'll suffer the 1 turret will suffer 2 setback die on all of its attack. And Grix was going to start firing at the turrets then?
Yeah, the one that he's not doing some grapple, some turret rodeo with. I'll shoot at the other one.
Okay.